Guys, I'm gonna be doing What If Naruto Was Neglected and a Genjutsu Prodigy. So, we're gonna go. First, I'm gonna say that the Uzumaki clan, I'm just gonna say that the Uzumaki clan were, this is just, an. Actually, yeah, I just remembered the name. This is like my own little AU thing. The Uzumaki are essentially the descendants of the Kurama clan, which has Ryo Genjutsu, and the Senju clan. So, and Kushina the uh, is the daughter of the Uzumaki, and a half Kurama, half Senju. And just so you know, that was probably like eons ago. So I'm just gonna that happened. But either way, yeah, the Namikazes were made up of the Uchiha and what was it? Oh, basically the Namikazes were the descendants of the Uchiha, basically. Like the Uchihas and some civilians. But normally Namikazes don't awaken basically they all have their own bloodline. So basically those bloodlines can only be accessed by those descendants. Basically that's what I'm saying. So these are Naruto's elements. He has ice, boil, scorch, lava, wood, storm, explosion, magnet, the five basics, and dust. Then this is the Sharingan Genjutsu Physical Void. As remember, technically he has the Senju and Uchiha in him, as Minato is gonna be half Uchiha in this, but he isn't gonna really awaken the Sharingan, nor are his brother and sister. Or at least that's how I'm doing it. And now that I've explained a bunch, I'm just going to say this is the amount. He's 39% Uchiha, 4% Namikaze, because he took mainly after his, grandfather and the farthest ancestor of the Namikaze. So, then he's normal Namikaze, 4%. Uzumaki Chakra Chains is what he gets from that. By the way, just so you know, he gets from the Uchiha Sharingan, the Namikaze Swift Release, the Uzumaki, the Chakra Chains at 15% Uzumaki, the Kurama Real Genjutsu at 27%, and then Senju Wood Style 15%. And because he's part Senju, his Sharingan will never go blind. So I'm going to say Sharingan, Mangekyo Sharingan, Stage 1, Stage 2, and then Stage 3, and then Stage 4. With each stage, he gains a new one. Then he can later get Rinnegan, and then Mangekyo Rinnegan, and then the Mangekyo Rinnegan Stage 2, and then the Eternal Mangekyo Rinnegan, which basically, the Eternal Mangekyo Rinnegan just essentially means that the Rinnegan will use less chakra, and it will essentially, and once he does gain the Eternal Mangekyo Rinnegan, he can essentially use the Rinnegan to its fullest potential. And then Tsukuyomi's Wrath. Wait, I just saw something I need to fix. Give me a moment. And I'm back with Tsukuyomi's Wrath. Essentially, the clones will be of him, pretend they're not Itachi, but the person will be asleep while in this, but he'll feel the pain, or at least asleep, and it seems like, but he's seeing everyone they care for to essentially just oof. And just get oofed over and over, or just a torturous thing, basically. Then Sharingan Genjutsu Physical Void. Will be one of his later ones, which is essentially a physical void that will just absorb your chakra, but it's in your head. However, and then of course Naruto's elements, and then this is Naruto. This is Naruto's sword, and then of course he has a 6-Toma Rinnegan at some point. But either way, let's get into the story. we see the Kyuubi attack as it's attacking Konoha. The uh, the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, was about to use the Reaper Death Seal, but then Sarutobi Hiruzen decided that he knocked Minato out with a chop to the back of his neck and used the Shikifuin Reaper Death Seal. And he sealed the Kyuubi's soul in Naruto, the Kyuubi's power in Minma and Mito. Because I can't think of any names, I'm just going with those. And then Minma was a direct copy of Kushina but male, and Mito was a direct copy of Minato but female. Just so you know. And then there's Naruto is not a direct copy of anyone, but either way, let's continue. Also, the person you see on the side is the person who made this picture. So, I guess, so either way, I'm just going to say credit to them because I think it's a really awesome picture. So, let's just continue. So, we see as he's just sealed it. And then Kushina sees that Naruto has black hair and is like, how does he have, you know what, maybe I should just ignore it. And now we time skip 4 years later. His parents have been caring for him and his siblings, which have been getting along fairly well for now. As we see, it's their 4th birthday, actually, in fact, which is the day they're turning 4. And this day, we see as all the clan heads and clans all go and decide that they're going to attend the birthday party. So they attended it, and they gave Naruto and Minma all the presents except for a few who actually remembered of Naruto, aka we're going to say it's Shisui, Itachi, and the leader of the Kurama clan, because he does like the Uchihas and the Kurama clans, just so you know. And we see as they go and give him the presents, the Uchihas, noticing his black hair, looked into his blood, or at least a female medic Uchiha did, and she found out about the percentages of what clans he was in. Same with a female Kurama medic. So either way, that happened. So they know that he is part of those, and that is probably from grandparents. So what they do is the Kuramas give him how to control genjutsu and what genjutsu's fundamentals are, which is you can do anything the imagination wishes with genjutsu. What they told him. And then the Uchihas simply gave him scrolls on how to use genjutsu with the Sharingan. And he's like, and when he receives the Sharingan one, he says, you know I don't have the Sharingan, right? Well, we found out you were part of Uchiha in the blood test. What the Itachi and Shisui says. Oh, we didn't tell, though it was conducted by one of our friends. But either way, we're gonna awaken your Sharingan, as they put him under a genjutsu, and it causes him to awaken the two Tomoe Sharingan, I say. Because that's, either way, we see as that happens. And then he awakens the Sharingan, as he says, I have learned chakra control, but because of the books my parents have been leaving around, so I know how to turn it off, because I'm actually reading, unlike my sister and brother, he says, as he turns off the Sharingan. And then Shisui and Itachi say, yeah, that is true. We did see you doing that, reading a lot. Either way, I say that you should try and go play with the other kids your age. Okay, he says. As then we see as he goes to them, and then Naruto does says, haha, we've been getting all these ninja tools and you haven't gotten any. As he's been hiding all of the other thing, all of his other all the scrolls and stuff. And then when he let's just say enter remark here, it's not like you're gonna use them until next month, he says. And she gets angry and says, you're bullying me. And then we see and she says, know what? If it's either be friends with me and Menma, or and don't talk or don't be friends with him, or we won't be friends with you. As they all pick Menma and Mito as their friend, as they're technically all good friends with Menma and Mito. So we time skip a month later. He says, Mom, and this is when the Sanin to go there. Well, also, just so you know, some characters might be different in this AU. So the Sanin Tsunade, as well as the Sanin Jiraiya, get the decide to get the twins some present. Decided to get the twins presents as they weren't able to make it to their birthday party because they were doing important things. So when that happened, while they're checking out the presents, which were some, give me a moment. And now they go into a room and talk to Minato and Kushina. And Minato, and as they say, Minato Kushina, we have heard of the Child of Prophecy. It said they will have an overwhelming power that hasn't been seen since the Sage of Six Paths age. As they say, that must be Minma and Mito because they contain the Kiwi's power. And Jiraiya says, that's probably right. So so I think we should start their training now. I was going to plan to do it in about a week, but I guess we can start now. And then we see, as they said, we're going to start your training. And then Naruto says, what about me? And he says, here, take this book on chakra control. And he says, okay. And then unknowingly, Minato gave him a book that contained stuff on chakra control and genjutsu. So he ended up looking at it and he started reading all about how genjutsu works. Along with the extra books, he was able to piece together the way genjutsu masters went at it. And he found out from the book that he got from his father about the Kurama clan and how they could make their genjutsus real, if they use their bloodline. And it also explains the sensation they feel. So Naruto tries to replicate it and then says the word, as he's been thinking genjutsu, but it doesn't work because he wasn't trying to think of anything to mold his chakra. But then, also, just so you know, the Infinite Void, not the Infinite Void, the Sharingan Genjutsu Physical Void, has control over everything in there. So if he has a spike go through you while you were in the Genjutsu, then you would start bleeding in real life. That's essentially what I'm saying, because all of the clans amplify each other, especially Uchiha and Kurama. So essentially we see as that's happened, as he's now training, decides, you know what, I'm going to train more on these two new chakra control exercises, as he's actually just done a ton of leaf hovering and leaf sticking exercises to do it. He sees the walk on trees, which is the next step up, as he chooses to start, as he has very strong chakra control. As he walks up the tree, he did it first try. And then we see, as he says, no, I'll try to do it on water. As he gets as he just goes straight to just underwear just so he doesn't get his clothes wet. And he goes down and starts walking on the. However, it gets unstable halfway, and it takes roughly 10 to 15 tries to get for him to get the water walking perfected. As now he's done that, he's thinking, what would happen if I activate my Sharingan? As he just activated his Sharingan. And essentially, with his Sharingan, he says, as now, actually, no, we skip 1 week later. His parents have slowly been ignoring him, and he's on a walk as he sees Orochimaru, which in this is gonna probably be what a nice person towards Naruto, but isn't really gonna like anyone but him. Like, he's almost the same as he was. However, he's not wanting immortality, but he's much more hostile and thought of as a bad person, but cannot be executed or anything because he hasn't done anything bad yet, like at all yet. Only giving people bloodlines and so on if the person requests it and it's allowed by the clan that has it. As well as he's given like freshly dyed bodies just to explore about the human body and maybe if they had a bloodline or not. Either way, so we see him walking and see the poor kid. And then and then he says, "Hey, kid, what are you doing?" As now he was crying because his parents have been ignoring him, along with his mother and sister have been messing with him and getting him in trouble for when they aren't ignoring him. And he says, just walking around to get a bit of fresh air. He says in a sad voice, as may I add, his eyes have been looking down and they cannot see it. As they hear, okay, well, may I ask, why are you walking? Why do you have such a sad voice? He says, I've been being ignored by everyone and taunted by my brother and sister. May I ask what your name is? As he notices, oh yeah, you're the kid, Minato and Kushina's kid that's always been more quiet and preserved, but also more kind and emotional. Yeah. He says, he says, do you mind looking me in the eyes? As when he does, Orochimaru sees a fully matured normal Sharingan in his eyes, the three Tomoe. And he says, hey kid, how do you have Sharingan? He says, I don't know. It was presumed by the Uchiha and the Kurama clan that my grandparents were Uchihas and Kuramas, and I've been learning some genjutsu. Would you like to see the genjutsu I made? As he puts Orochimaru in a genjutsu. This genjutsu is not quite fully done. It's like the beginnings of Sharingan Genjutsu Physical Void. Right now, it's Sharingan Genjutsu Semi-Transparent Void. You see everything around you distort, unable, and it essentially makes it so that you only see in the middle of it, making it harder to see. Right now, it's not physical, just hindering your vision, basically. Like, that middle dot there, that's the only thing you could see from. The rest is what you see in your eye. That's how it goes with the first level, with that bit. And the rest is just semi-translucent in the sense that you see semi-translucent rainbows. those little rainbow things are semi-translucent for right now. And as he sees this, he says, "Whoa, you're good at genjutsu, kid. Let me adopt you." As he says, "I want to adopt a kid," as Minato just skips through the paperwork and just signs the paperwork he wanted, and he says, "Man, he really was right." As flashback, he probably won't notice that you want to adopt me. Okay. And now we go back as he stamps it, as he then places it back and takes Naruto home. And now, since it's 20 minutes already, this is the end of the video. Bye, guys.